Yo guys, what's going on? Tom here from Tomelodian, as you already know. Otherwise you wouldn't be here, would you? You know. Welcome back. So, oh that was shit. God damn it. I can't do it. Oh, whatever. Welcome to, as you can see by the title, my movie review on the brand new Stephen King movie, Doctor Sleep. It nearly put me to sleep. This is a long video. There is so much that I need to talk about on this one movie. My Zombieland review and my Terminator review, they're quite short compared to this one. This is fully me going in depth about most of the movie. It's literally about, I've got my laptop to my left. If I'm looking to my left, it's because I've got like pointers that I needed to remember and all of that. So if you don't know what Doctor Sleep is, it is Stephen King's second book in the Shining series. So, well, I say Shining series, there's only two of them. So if you've ever seen the film The Shining, I do have the DVD somewhere, but I do have the disc of The Shining literally here. So if you haven't seen The Shining, you know, here's Johnny. That is The Shining. And that was an amazing film in the 80s, I believe. I think it was the 80s, maybe the 80s. Yeah, the 80s. And it was well received by a lot of people, but it was also not really well received at all. But you know, there's a lot in Doctor Sleep, which is the sequel. But there is so much that I did not like about this movie. There's a lot that I did like, and there's a lot that I didn't like. So this movie for me, like, all together was just, I literally, I remember me and Liberty went to go and see this, my friend Liberty. We went to see this, we sat down. The film is 2.5 hours long, so it's 2 hours and 32 minutes, I believe, or 31, something like that. I sat down and, you know, the adverts played, and I was like, oh, I'm so ready for this, I'm so ready for this. Probably within the first 20 minutes, I was bored shitless. I was so bored of this movie. I was like, can it just end? Like, don't get me wrong, there are certain scenes in this movie that are like, oh my god. Like, they are so good and so well directed that, you know, I was in awe. But for the rest of the movie, it was just literally a flat line. It was literally flat. It literally flatlined from about 30 minutes in up until about like the last 45, like the last 30, 40 minutes. Like, seriously. Do not get me started on, I'll talk about that in a minute. So this is a spoiler review. So everything I've just said is my overall review of the movie. I think it's, but as of this point now, there will be spoilers for the movie. So if you want to go and see the movie, go and watch the movie, and then come back and watch this and see if you agree with me, which you might do, you might not do. I don't care. My opinion. Deal with it. So, basically, just to give you an overview of what Doctor Sleep is, it's basically, I think it's 30 years after the events of The Shining. The adult version of Danny Torrance basically meets a young girl, and she has similar powers. You know, she is someone who shines, and basically there is a cult of people who are essentially trying to, it's hard to explain. Basically what they're doing is they are killing people that have these powers, and they are absorbing their energy and drinking them and eating them to basically give them like eternal life, which sounds odd, but honestly it's, you know, pretty, you know, simple. And my laptop keeps messing up and it's really pissing me off because I'm trying to, there we go. Yeah, so there's a lot that, you know, yeah. So yeah, that's basically what the movie's about. They are trying to protect, basically Danny's trying to protect this girl from this cult who are after her. And that's the literal gist of the movie. It sounds boring, but I must say, I'll get into that later on. So the first bullet point that I have is that I did not like the recast of actors. So obviously in the original you have Shelley Duvall and Jack Nicholson. In this movie you have two new actors who are playing the characters that Shelley and Jack play. They were awful in this movie. I'm sorry, but they stuck out like a sore thumb. Like, honest to God, I have never been so ashamed in a performance in all my life. They were so unrealistic, it was unreal. Like, they just tried so hard to play Shelley Duvall playing what's her name? I don't know. But then also you have the other actor trying to play Jack Nicholson, you know, trying to play... It just doesn't work. And then also recasting Danny as well, the child, also didn't work. Like, what the hell? I would have preferred CGI versions of them. Like, honest to God, they would have done a much better performance. Like, I hated the fact that they recast the actors. Like, they didn't... The scenes with those characters in, we didn't need... Like, at all. Maybe there's one scene where Danny is sat on a bench and he's talking to the person that's in his head. And he tells him how to get rid of all the ghosts that are haunting him from the Overlook Hotel. That scene's important because it helps him further on in the movie towards the end. But... you know, that is the only scene needed. You don't need any scenes between him and his mum. You don't need scenes with, you know, someone pretending to be Jack Nicholson. It doesn't work at all. Like, seriously, my biggest peeve from this movie is that they recast Shelley Duvall and Jack Nicholson. That is my biggest hate about this movie. It just ruined the movie for me. Like, it doesn't feel connected to The Shining at all. And obviously they couldn't get Jack Nicholson and Shelley Duvall, you know, obvious reasons. But come on. Like, seriously? No. Oh. Okay. The movie itself, it was really unnerving and terrifying at points. There's one point in particular where there's a child actor called Jacob Tremblay. He's in this movie and he plays a kid that is kidnapped by this cult. And there is one scene where this cult take Jacob Tremblay's character and they're in this like nuclear power plant quarry station, and what they do is they essentially pin him down on the ground, tie him to the ground, and I've never been so unnerved at a movie in all my life. I have never sat watching a scene and just gone, I actually can't deal with this. Is actually too far. Like, they slaughtered this child. So yeah, I really have never been unnerved at a movie in my life. And Jacob Tremblay's range in this one scene, this small tiny scene, he was exceptional. Like, I honestly sat there, and as he was stabbed just once, the scream, the power that he let out was unreal. Like, I did not expect that from him at all. Like, he really dug deep with like this scream, and it was so piercing and so heart-wrenching that I actually couldn't watch this scene again. I will not be able to watch this film again because of that one scene. And it was honestly, they kept stabbing him, and I literally remember just being sat there and just going, oh my God, like, no, stop, like, just no. In a way, I think they went way too far with that scene. It wasn't necessarily graphic, there wasn't too much blood, but it was just so over the top and just so it worked for me. That's what one of the scenes that I loved in the movie was the one that made me feel no. Like other scenes in the movie, you know, the ending kind of worked for me. The beginning didn't really work for me. This scene, if you've seen the movie, you'll know what I mean about this scene. It's so good. It's so unnerving and nerve shredding that you cannot keep your eyes on the screen. It's just sort of like, just having to hear it is enough. Like, seriously, honest to God, having to listen to the scream that he lets out is enough. And I know I'm spending so long on this one scene, but honest to God, the child actors in this movie are amazing. Like, they've picked some of the best ever. You know, like, just well done to the casting directors on Doctor Sleep. Like, you did an amazing job with the entire cast. Like, even Ewan McGregor and Cliff Curtis, right? I absolutely loved Cliff Curtis from Fear the Walking Dead. He was amazing in that show. R.I.P. He's such an amazing actor. And in this movie, you know, like I said, this is a spoiler review, so I'm allowed to say this. Towards the end, when the cult are in this park trying to get the girl, Cliff Curtis and Ewan McGregor, they kill pretty much all of the cult, except one. They kill all of the cult, and one of the girl's powers is that she can make people do whatever she wants them to do, and she makes Cliff Curtis shoot himself and kill himself, and that he's the only death in this movie where I sort of felt really sorry for him. Like, this random man turns up in a town. He's been, you know, Cliff Curtis has been nice to him, and he's just been made to shoot his own brains out. You know, this movie, it's 2.5 hours long. It's so gripping. Like, you get so emotionally involved in the characters. It's one of the things that works about this movie are the characters and the basis of it. Like, it's so rich and pure and realistic, and it really, really does work. Ewan McGregor is exceptional in this movie. He's one of my favorite actors, and for him, obviously horror is a new sort of genre for him, and he absolutely owned it. Like, honest to God, round of applause for Ewan McGregor for this movie. Like, honest to God. Talking more about the cast, the favourite part of this movie for me is every scene that had Rebecca Ferguson in it. She stole this movie for me. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have gone to see this movie at all. Like, I love Rebecca Ferguson. She's one of my favourite actresses ever. And when I heard she was in this movie, I was so hyped. And I saw the trailer. I was like, oh my God, all the scenes with her in it look amazing. And they were. They truly, truly are. She plays the cult leader. I can't remember her name. I can't remember any of their names, to be honest, apart from Danny, who Ewan McGregor plays. But, you know, she's so good at being evil, yet being so sweetly vulnerable and evil. And one scene in particular that she acted really well, it was just sort of her facial expressions, was when she sort of got her hand slammed into a filing cabinet, and she goes to pull her hand out, and she basically rips all of the skin off of her hand, and she acts it so well that you believe that it's real, and it looks so realistic as well. And she's just, honest to God, so fucking brilliant in this movie. Like, best part about this movie is her performance, her just everything about her in this movie is amazing. Her character, her performance, you know, the way she presents, her characterization, it's on point. It really, really, really is. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the cast. Now, one thing, let's talk about The Shining for a minute. So one thing that you should not expect from this movie is a lot of Shining references until the last 30 minutes. Literally, no mention that much, apart from the actors playing the older characters. There is no mention of The Shining whatsoever. I mean the film. I don't mean people who shine. I mean the movie The Shining. There is no reference to it whatsoever. And for me, it was a bit of a letdown because I had to wait 2 hours for the final showdown, Ewan McGregor versus Rebecca Ferguson, waiting for that showdown. It lasted about 5 minutes, and they spent about 30 minutes just going around the hotel. and throwing back to The Shining, which I don't get me wrong, I loved. I loved, you know, seeing Danny looking through the window that his dad, the door pane that his dad broke with the axe, and he said, "Here's Johnny." You know, that was amazing, and you know, going into the golden room and having his dad be the waiter, you know, all these things were just so good. But it took 2 hours to get there, and it lasted not that long. I wanted half this movie to be set in the hotel, yet here we only got 25-30 minutes of it. Like, seriously? Nah. Just, if that's what you're expecting from this movie, to go in and be like, oh my god, there's going to be loads of Shining references, it's just going to be a direct sequel from The Shining, it really isn't. Like, if, honest to God, first 2 hours, if you watch that by itself, you'd be like, this isn't a sequel to The Shining, this is just its own movie. Adding the last half an hour on makes you go, oh, it's The Shining, of course it is. Like, it was such a letdown to only see the Overlook Hotel for about 25 minutes, and then they blow it up. And it does feel over the top in a way, and obviously Danny's sacrificing himself to save the girl. It's just, you know, cliche. There's a lot of cliches in this movie as well. I'm not going to go into them because we'll be here for about 10 million years. So many cliches, like, just what the hell? Like, seriously. So yeah, Danny killing himself to save the girl, so cliche, and don't get me wrong, it's well done. You do sort of feel for him in a way, and you do sort of feel for her, but you just sort of think, he wouldn't do that. You know, he's not the kind of person that would sacrifice himself to save someone. He really isn't. That's not his character at all. And it's just, yeah, the last 30 minutes for me ruined the movie. But they also make it one of the best parts. Like, honestly, it's so weird. Like, I love that part of the movie, but I hate the part of the movie at the same time. Like, going around the hotel was sort of like, oh my god, it's The Shining, it's The Shining, it's The Shining. And then just the story that's meant to unfold in that just sort of got lost. You know, the fight scene between Ewan McGregor and Rebecca Ferguson lasts about 5 minutes and then she's dead. No, it doesn't even last that. It's like 2 minutes and then she's dead. Because he unlocks the ghosts from his memory, and they come alive and they eat her. It's just such a weak ending. It's just such, you know, that you've had this 2 hours and 15-20 minutes of characterization, character building up their story arc, for them to die within 2 minutes. It's pathetic, and it shows a lack of imagination. It really does. And just, if you're going to make a movie and you're going to spend so long on characterization and building that character arc, do not kill them off within 2 minutes of the finale. Like, see, just don't. It's like introducing a major right, using The Walking Dead as an example, right? If you introduce Negan in season 6, episode 16, right? He's about to bash someone's brains in. You shoot him in the head. He's dead, right? A character that is in nearly 30, volumes. He's in nearly 30 volumes of The Walking Dead comics, and he's dead within 10 minutes of an episode. How are you really going to feel as a fan of the show? You're not going to be happy. Just, yeah, for me, nah. Just nah. So, another problem. I have a lot of problems with the movie. I'm sorry. I'm giving you my thoughts. Listen to them. Don't listen to them. I don't care. But it's not really a horror movie in my eyes. It's more of a thriller, a nostalgic thriller of The Shining. It's got a few jump scares here and there. There's one in particular that really got me. I'm not going to tell you which one it is. I'm just going to let it happen if you guys go and see it. It's really good. You do not expect it at all. And I don't usually get scared at horror movies. But this one did make me jump. It really did. So definitely be prepared. Twists, there aren't any. There's no twists in sight. Like, it's all quite linear, quite simple. And it's not gory either. You know, it says strong bloody violence on the thing. So, a few people being shot, and the hand scene, that's about it. And Jacob Tremblay being stabbed, that's it. yeah, it's meant to be strong bloody violence. It wasn't at all. It was mild, if anything. It's, you know, probably about 6 people die within the space of 2.5 hours. You know, you see what I mean? Doesn't correlate much. I am unfamiliar with the novel as well. Obviously, it is based off a book. I don't know if the endings differ. I'm definitely going to read the book, because I want to see if I prefer the book ending or whether I prefer the film ending. Probably the book. But, you know, I am unfamiliar with the novel. But there are many nods to The Shining, like I said. And for me, this movie is one of the best, like, modern sort of Stephen King movies. Like, you've got It, got It 2, Pet Sematary, The Dark Tower. You've got all these movies. For me, this is second in my eyes. Like, seriously, for me, like, rank order, It Chapter 1 is first for me. I love that movie. Then it goes Doctor Sleep. Then it goes It Chapter 2, Pet Sematary, The Dark Tower. Like, I might have a lot of bad things to say about this movie, but I did sit there for 2.5 hours, and I didn't enjoy myself, but I did sort of go, it's, what it is. I wouldn't watch it again, but I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I'm just sort of like, whatever. If it was randomly on, I just put it on in the background. Like, I wouldn't sit there and go, oh, I love this movie. Nah. But It Chapter 1 really grasped me. And when they said, oh, we're doing an It Chapter 2, I was like, yes. And when they said it was 2 hours and 45 minutes long, I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be a really long horror movie. It's going to be really, really good. And then I sat there for 2 hours and 45 minutes, and I just went, what a waste of my life that was. Like, there were bits in that I did enjoy. I'm not going to go into that because it's a completely different movie. But there were bits in that I enjoyed. There were lots of bits that I loved. But Doctor Sleep is definitely second for me. It Chapter 1, Doctor Sleep, It Chapter 2, Pet Sematary, The Dark Tower. The Dark Tower was awful. Anyone who disagrees can just leave right now. Like, The Dark Tower is awful. You know what? Watch it on Netflix. Tell me what you think. Honest to God, I hated it. Every single second. I was so bored, yet I sat there and I watched it. And I'm ashamed that I sat there and that I watched it, because it truly, 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 truly is a load and utter bullshit. Honest to God. Out of every Stephen King movie, why? But yeah, so overall, I liked the movie. I didn't like the movie. Should you go and see it? I'm going to say yes. On the occasion that you like horror movies, you like being unnerved, and you love The Shining. If you can't do those 3 things, you're not going to love this movie at all. If you love The Shining, you'll love this movie. If you love horror movies, you will not love this movie. Like, you really need to love The Shining to love this movie. And I liked The Shining. It was really good, but I didn't love it. It's probably one of the reasons why I didn't like this movie, but I also liked it. Definitely go and see it if you like The Shining. But if you didn't, then don't bother. Like, even the critics are saying that it's not good, it's not bad, it's just sort of in between. But yeah, this has been my movie review on Doctor Sleep. So don't worry, there are 2 more reviews to come. We have Zombieland 2 and we have Terminator Dark Fate. They are both coming this week, so do not worry at all. And I know I'm really sorry about uploading this on a Thursday. Some stuff's gone on that I don't really want to get into. But, I'm here, I'm recording, I'm trying to get content out for you guys as much as I can. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. And I guess I will see you all in my next video, which will be tomorrow. So, bye.